So hi guys, I'm here at this beautiful location in the middle of the jungle, in the middle of the rice fields. And in this location, we're going to host our next retreat with Wood and Sand. And so I'm super excited to be here and to be able to share this practice with you. And so this practice today is about Purusha, our true self. And so often in our daily life, we get disconnected from ourselves, we get disconnected from who we really are and what we really want. And so in this practice, we want to find a grounding flow to help us to dig through those layers of limiting beliefs, of distractions, and to feel into ourselves and to see like what is it that you actually need and what is it that you really want. And what is just an expectation, or what is just maybe an expectation of society, of the people around you, and your own expectations. So let's get started in a seated position. I have here a block and a pillow. If you practice at home, you can also use just like a regular pillow or maybe a blanket. If you have a block or a pillow, you can take a seat down to make it more comfy. And rolling the shoulders up and down away from the ears so we sit up nice and tall. The head is above the heart, the heart is above the hips. And closing off the eyes for a few moments. And then slowly give yourself here a moment to arrive. A moment to notice your surroundings. But without putting a label on it, without judging your surroundings, as good or as bad. You can lean a little bit back like there's a wall behind you, allowing the shoulders to soften even further down, away from the ears. Then notice your breath. The rising and falling of the chest. The rising and falling of the belly. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. You can rest your hands on your knees, feeling the grounding energy here of yourself. And if you haven't already, start to bring the awareness to your breath. Start to make the inhalation long and the exhalation long. So finding your own rhythm of breath. As the air, your life force, your prana is moving in and out of your body. And take one more deep breath here. Breathe in into the belly, into the chest. Feel how the body expands. And then the exhale of softness in the body, let it go. Keep the eyes still closed and start to lean over to one side of the upper body and then find some small circles here. So you move the upper body forward to the side and back. Rolling here over the hands, over the knees. You can also bring the shoulders with you, maybe the head. So feeling here. Make the movements as big, as spacious as it feels right. You can change the direction of the circles. Giving yourself some time. And then come back to center. Allow the circles to get smaller. And just feel here. Feel into the center of your body. The small movements of your breath. And take one more huge breath in. One more long soft exhalation, let it go. Blink the eyes open. From here, reach the arms up. Get longer through the fingers, lengthening. And then the exhale, find your cactus arms. You squeeze the elbows towards the ribs, creating space. Lift up the chin. Inhale. On the exhale, bring the elbows together, chin to the chest so we round. On the inhale, you open up again. Draw the chest forward, cactus arms. And then the exhale, elbows together, chin to the chest. So we bring some movements into the spine, into the shoulders. Inhale, opening up. And then exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace the hands and turn the palms up towards the sky. Stretch the arms behind the ears, we lengthen through the armpits. Inhale to stretch it up, lengthening. And on the exhale, release the hands, place them in front of you. And remove the block. And then from here, find yourself into your tabletop position, your all-fourth position. Shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. And from here, let's start with our cat and cow. So on the inhale, you drop the belly and you arch the back. And on the exhale, you round. And so today, let's bring the knees a little bit wider. And then start to include some circles. And so finding intuitive movements here, along the spine and the shoulders, to slowly arrive here within the practice. Feeling here into any stiffness, into any tightness. And again, observing without any judgment. So here on your mat, to get to know yourself, to connect yourself on a deeper level. It's not about being perfect or looking a certain way. And then one more circle of breath. From here, bring the big toes to touch and then take a seat down into your child's pose. You can walk the fingers a little bit forward and maybe you come up onto the fingertips. Allowing here the chest to hang heavy, maybe you place the forehead down. Finding some length here. In our child's pose, always a reminder that here on our mat is a safe space to practice. And to dedicate the practice for your well-being, for strengthening the relationship with yourself. Without any expectations on the body, any expectations on the postures or the practice. And so we're here to bring our body in those different shapes, those different postures, to see how the body reacts in the posture, to move through the transitions with grace, to stay strong and calm with the breath, even in challenging postures and challenging situations. To allow softness in the body and compassion. And so take one more nourishing breath in. And then long, soft exhalation, let it go. From here, walk the hands over towards the left. Placing the left hand down, bring the right hand on top, finding a little side stretch here. Take a deep breath into the right side of the lungs. And then let it go. Come back up onto the fingers. Walk the hands forward, lengthening here. Then walk the hands over towards the right. Placing the right hand down, left arm on top. And then take a deep breath here into the left side of your lungs. Lot of space here. Walk the hands back to center. So also exploring here today in which parts of the body we can create space. In which parts of the body we can create softness. And so if the next and around yourself up and forward, tuck the toes under and find yourself into your downward facing dog. It's the first down dog of the practice. You can walk it out on the spot. Bending one leg at a time, you can drop the heel side to side. Again, giving yourself here a few moments. And slowly finding stillness, allowing the heels to get heavy. The chest is moving a bit closer in the direction towards your thighs. Take one more breath here. And then lift up the heels, look between the hands. And then either step, walk or lightly hop to the front of the mat. On the inhale, you lift up half, are you lengthening? And on the exhale, round again. Allow the chest to get heavy. The next inhale carries you all the way up. Reach the arms overhead. And then exhale, cactus the arms or the elbows towards the ribs. And then engage the glutes, shift the hips a little bit forward, creating space in the chest. Inhale. And like we did before, on the exhale, bring the elbows together, chin to the chest, round. Again, inhale to open, creating space. Push the hips forward, lean back. And exhale, elbows to touch, chin to the chest. One more time, inhale to open. Maybe you arch the back a little. And on the exhale, elbows to touch. Inhale to open. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, reach up. Shift the hips forward. Maybe you lean back. And on the exhale, forward fold round all the way down. Inhale to lift up halfway, creating some length here in the spine. On the exhale, bend the knees, hands down, and step the right foot back. Lower the right knee down, untuck the toes, and place the right hand down. Now from here, lift the left arm up towards the sky. Get long to the left fingers here. Your inner thighs are hugging in. The left heel is pulling back in the direction towards the right thigh. Inhale. And then the exhale, reach the left arm back. Maybe you stay. Maybe you lift up the right leg. Maybe the hand and the foot are there to connect. And maybe you press the foot into the hand to peel the left chest open. Maybe you take a look towards the left foot. See if the right shoulder is sneaking up towards the right ear, and gently roll the right shoulder down away from the ear, keeping the space. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the left hand down. Bring both of the hands onto the inside of the left foot. You can walk the left foot a little bit outwards. Turn the left foot slightly outwards so you find your left side. Tuck the right toes and then lift up the right knee. You can rock a little bit back and forth, allowing the hips to sink down, roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Take an inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Find stillness, ground the right heel down, so the back foot is like 90 degrees. Then keeping the left knee above the left ankle, and walk the hands over towards the right and a little bit outwards. Sink the hips deep, so we find a deep stretch here for the hips. Left knee above the left ankle, sit the sitting bones away from the fingers. Inhale. And then exhale, crawl the hands back. And then again, allow the hips to sink down, turn the right foot forward, roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Now from here, roll onto the outside of the left foot and then roll onto the outside of the right foot. So we're both here on the outside of the right foot, on the outside of the left foot. Then reach the left arm up and allow the hips to sink down. Get long to the left fingers. Take an inhale here. Then the exhale, set the left hand down and then walk the hands back towards the right foot. Turn the right foot like 45 degrees backwards, so the right foot is pointing to the back edge of the mat. And then take a seat down into your Skandasana. You could lift the right heel. You could keep the right heel grounded. Then reach the arms away from each other, opening up here, turning the left toes up towards the sky, so you externally rotate the left hip. Maybe you stay here with your arms wide, maybe bring the hands down. Maybe you find a bind by bending the left arm behind the back, and you internally rotate the right shoulder, so you draw the right shoulder in. And then maybe the fingers are there to connect. If the fingers are there to connect, opening up the left chest. Stay for one more breath. And then release the hands and crawl all the way back to the front of the mat. Sink the hips down for a moment and then step back to your downward facing dog. A few moments here to breathe. A few moments here to feel into your hips, into your hamstrings, your legs. To notice your breath, your prana. Take one more inhale here. On the exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk or lightly hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, find your flat back. And on the exhale, round the spine, hang heavy. The next inhale carries you all the way up. Reach the arms up. And then interlace the hands, draw the palms up towards the sky, also like we did before. Let's find here also a little back bend. So you shift the hips forward, engagement in the glutes, and you lean back here. So again, you lengthen through the armpits, and let's find some rotation here. So lean a little bit over towards the left, but keeping the arch in your spine. And then back to center, over towards the right. And then back to center. Inhale here, exhale, forward, fold all the way down, release the fingers. Inhale, lift up halfway, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down, step the left foot back. Lower the left knee down, untuck the toes. From here, set the left hand down, reach the right arm up, right knee above the right ankle. Inhale to lift up to the right fingers, exhale, reach the right arm back. Maybe you stay right here, maybe you lift up the left foot. Maybe the foot and the hand are there to connect. Then maybe you sink the hips a little bit further down. You could also walk the right toes a little bit forward to create more space. Rolling the right chest open, pressing the foot into the hand. The inner thighs are hugging in. Engagement in the core. See if the left shoulder is sneaking up towards the ear, and then roll the shoulder down away from the ear. Remember, we want to create space. Inhale here. Maybe you look towards the right foot. And the exhale, release the right foot down. Set the hands on the inside of the right foot. Walk the right foot a little bit outwards like, so you can bring the hands on the inside of the foot and the foot is looking outwards like 45 degrees. You lift up the left knee and so you're here in your lizard. You rock a bit back and forth. Just to bring here some awareness into your hips. And today we really want to focus on letting go of any stiffness, any tightness, any stickiness, especially in the area around the hips and the shoulders. Finding stillness here. Roll onto the outside of the right foot and onto the outside of the left foot. Sink the left hip down, reach the right arm up. So the right fingertips are reaching up. Inhale here, sink the hips down. On the exhale, set the right hand down. And then from there, bring the left heel down. The foot is pointing towards the back corner of the mat. And then walk the hands back, take a seat down in your Skandasana. You can keep the heel lifted. Rotate here, the right toes up to face towards the sky. Exhale, rotate the right hip here. You can bring the left hand down, right arm up for a moment so we spread wide. And maybe stay here, opening up the right chest, opening up the hips, maybe place the hands down for support. Maybe if the bind is in your practice, you bend the right arm behind the back. And maybe this side of the body feels a little bit different, so you choose a different variation. And that's also completely fine. Wherever you are, stay for 2 more breaths. Notice how your body is reacting in the posture. Wherever your arms are, release the arms down and then crawl the hands forward and out. Now from here, like we did also before on the opposite side, you ground the left heel down, so the back foot is 90 degrees. Keep the right knee above the right ankle, and you walk the hands over towards the left, then sink the hips down, so the fingers reaching away from the left hip, deep stretch for the hips. Creating some length. Inhale. And then exhale, walk the hands back out. Pivot back onto your left toes. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears. And then from there, step it back to your downward facing dog. Take a moment there. Along the hips. To stretch a little bit back. The heels to get a bit heavy. And then take 1 breath in through the nose. And then the exhale, sigh it out. Let it go. From here, bend the knees, look to the front of the mat. Step, walk or lightly hop to the front of the mat. On the inhale, you lift up halfway, you find a flat back. On the exhale, you round all the way down. The next inhale carries you all the way up. Shift the hips forward, lean a little bit back, arching the spine. On the exhale, forward fold all the way back down. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. On the exhale, bend the knees, hands down, step or float back, finding your vinyasa of choice. So you can either drop the knees down, you can lower halfway down for your chaturanga, or all the way down, finding your back bend of choice, maybe your baby cobra, your cobra, or your up dog, whatever feels right for you today. And from here, let's meet in our downward facing dog. Stretching the hips up and back, creating some length. Inhale to stretch it back. On the exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk or lightly hop to the front of the mat. On the inhale, you lift up halfway, so you create length. On the exhale, round again, hang heavy. Inhale, reach all the way up. Arms overhead, engagement in the glutes, maybe you lean back. And on the exhale, forward fold, round all the way down. Let's go for a second round. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, hands down, step or float back. Find your vinyasa of choice. I will show you some variations. So this time I drop my knees down. You shift the hips forward, lower halfway down or all the way down. Baby cobra, up dog. And then downward facing dog. Inhale to stretch the hips up and back. On the exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step, walk or lightly hop to the front of the mat. On the inhale, you lift up halfway, rolling the shoulders down away from the ears. Bring the belly button towards the spine. We move with awareness. On the exhale, you round, hang heavy. The next inhale carries you all the way up. Reach the arms overhead. And 1 more round. This time we get a little bit funky. Shift the hips forward, lean back, inhale. On the exhale, forward fold down. Now from here, walk the feet a little bit further away from each other. Let's find our crow posture here. If you don't feel like practicing your crow right now, you could take a seat down in your Malasana Yogi squat, palms to touch, arms on the inside of the leg, lengthening to the crown of the head. You stay here and you find a beautiful stretch, beautiful opening here for the hip, and this is perfect. If you feel like you want to practice your crow posture, you place the hands down, You walk the feet in. You come on up onto the tippy toes as high as you can, and you place the knees here into your armpits. You look a little bit forward, and then you shift forward here. Press the fingertips down into the mat, and also here the balls of the hands. And then you lean forward, you look forward, and maybe you stay right here. Maybe you lift one foot, you set it down, you lift the opposite foot, you set it down, and maybe you stay here, and you work with that, knowing that it's not about the outcome, it's about the effort. And if you want, you can try here to float into your crow posture. Let's see, my arms are a little bit sweaty, if I can do it. So you're moving your feet a little bit higher towards your sitting bones, and maybe you set it down again. Take a moment to rest in your malasana, your yogi squat. If you're up to practice your crow posture, you can also practice the jump back. So if the jump back is not in your practice, you can bring the hands down and step back to your plank. If it's in your practice, or if you want to try, again, you bring the knees high up into your armpits. You lean forward, finding your crow posture. And then here it's important that you don't jump back. You bring the chest forward and the legs back. So you slide the body away from each other. So. And then whenever you're ready, finding your chaturanga. So we land here with the elbows bent, and then your back bend of choice, or maybe you just step back, and that's also fine. And then we meet in our down dog. And take a moment there. From here, we want to find a little flow. So we want to bring fluidity in the body. We want to move with the breath. In the first round, we start slow. And then over the next rounds, we pick up the pace and we add some postures. With the next, and I lift up the right leg. And then bring the right foot towards the sitting bone, opening up here. Pressing the right hand strong into the mat, inhale. On the exhale, bring the knee towards the nose and then step the right foot between the hands. From here, runner's lunge, sink the hips down, roll the shoulders down away from the ears. With the next inhale, find your high lunge, lift up. Take an in-breath here. On the exhale, ground the left heel down, landing your warrior two. Deep into the right thigh, right knee above the right ankle. Strong arms looking over the right fingertips. Flip the right palm up. Then reverse the warrior. So you lean back, keeping the right leg bended. Left hand either on your left leg. Maybe you take a wrap around with the left arm. Maybe you grab here with your fingers the inside of the left thigh, your hip crease. And the right fingers are pulling away here from the right hip in order to create space. Inhale here. And exhale, cartwheel the arms down towards the mat. And step back to plank. Inhale here. Now on the exhale, you want to try something different. So you shift the weight forward, you hug the elbows in. Then you drop the knees down, you lift up the feet. From here, lower halfway down. And then bring the tops of the feet down, press into the tops of the feet. Find your cobra here, and then lift up the thighs, find your up dog. Shift the hips a little bit over towards the right, dropping the heels over towards the right. And then back to center, over towards the left. Back to center, rolling the shoulders down away from this, drawing the chest forward, engagement in the glutes. Keeping your fingers nice and active, inhale. Now on the exhale, roll over the feet back to your down dog. Take a moment there to breathe. With the next inhale, lift up the left leg. Open up the left hip here, inhale. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. You bring the knee towards the nose and then you step it through. Lower the hips down, lift up the gaze. With the next inhale, find your high lunge, lift up. Strong legs. On the exhale, ground into your warrior two, look over the left fingertips. The feet are drawing towards each other. We're stable in our warrior two. Flip the left palm up. Lean a little forward, reverse the warrior. Maybe the right hand rests down onto your leg. Maybe you find a bind here behind the back. A lot of space here in the left side body. Take an in-breath here to lengthen. And on the exhale, cartwheel the arms down towards the mat. Step back to your plank position. Pressing strong out of the hands. Imagine here, around in between the shoulders, really press out of the balls of the hands. Inhale. On the exhale, shift the weight forward, drop the knees down, lift up the feet. Hug the elbows in, out of strength, with control. Lower halfway down. Bring the tops of the feet down, press into the tops of the feet. Lifting up the thighs, up dog. Hug the elbows in, roll the shoulders down away from the ears. And from here, bring the heels over towards the right, the hips over towards the right. Back to center, over towards the other side. Back to center, inhale here. And on the exhale, down dog. tucking the toes under or rolling over the feet. And so here we go for a second round. This time, we go a little bit faster with the breath. With the next inhale, lift up the right leg, opening up the hip, inhale. On the exhale, bring the right knee towards the nose, round forward hold, and step the right foot between. Sink the hips down, lift up the gaze, inhale, high lunge. Exhale, ground into your warrior to look over the right fingertips. Flip the right palm up, reverse the warrior side stretch, inhale. On the exhale, cartwheel the arms down towards the mat. Step back to plank. Press strong out of the hands, inhale. Shift the weight forward, bring the knees down, lift up the feet. Hug the elbows in, lower halfway down. Strong triceps here. Bring the tops of the feet down. Lifting up the thighs, inhale, arching the spine. Roll the heels over to the right. Dip the hip down. Inhale back to center, over towards the left. Inhale back to center. And exhale, down dog, shifting the hips up and back. Inhale, lift the left leg up, opening up the left hip. Exhale, bring the left knee towards the nose. And then step it through. Lower the hips down, lift up the gaze. Out of strength, inhale, high lunge, we rise. Exhale, warrior two, let's ground. Flip the left palm up. Reverse the warrior, lean back. Inhale here, left side body opens. On the exhale, bring the hands down towards the mat. Step back to your plank position. Shift the weight forward. Lower the knees down, lift up the feet. Inhale. Exhale, hug the elbows in, halfway down. Finding your up dog here, pressing to the tops of the feet, arching the spine. Roll the heels over to the right, back to center, over to the left, back to center, and then downward facing dog. Take a moment here to breathe, a moment to feel into it. And so now we want to keep the flow, and we will add on some postures in the end. So stay strong, stay steady with your breath, knowing that you always have the choice to find your child's pose at any point of time. There's nothing to achieve here on your mat. So notice your breath right now, right here. Notice your feet, your heart beating, your breath, how the palms are rooting down into the mat. And so be here, be present. With the next inhale, lift up the right leg, open up the hip here, inhale. Exhale, bring the right knee towards the nose, round forward and step the right foot in between. Lower the hips down. Inhale, lift up, high lunge. Exhale, warrior to ground deep. Flip the right palm up, reverse the warrior, lean back. And then exhale, find your warrior two again this time. Walk the left foot a little bit in, extending the right leg. And from here, we want to find our half moon. So from here, we want to take a leap of faith. So you lean forward. If you have a block or a pillow, you can place it here in front of the right foot. And so you lean forward. You can bring the fingertips down into the block. Maybe you fall as me. Or maybe you bring the fingertips down to the ground. You can always keep a bend in the right leg. Maybe you want to work today on lifting the fingers away from the mat, extending the right leg, lifting up the left leg a little bit higher for an engagement in the glutes. The left toes are facing over towards the left. And so here we press the left heel back, the crown of the head is reaching forward, and the arms are spreading away from each other. So we spread in every direction here. The hips are open to the long side of the mat. Stay here. If you want a little bit more, you could bend the left leg in, maybe place the fingers down for this one. See if the hand and the foot are there to connect as we did before, and maybe press the foot into the hand so you roll the left chest open, and maybe float up the right fingers today. It's not something you have to do, it's just an option. And if your body's telling you, no, today you don't want to go there, that's also fine. Stay for one more breath wherever you are. If you have the foot, find your way back to your half moon, inhale. And on the exhale, bring the left hand down, square off the hips, so the hips are facing towards the short side of the mat, standing splits, but just for a moment. We cross here the left foot behind the right foot, and we step the left foot to the outside of the right foot, so we find our crossed leg stance. Allowing the chest to get heavy here for a moment. Feeling a stretch here for our hamstrings. And with the next inhale, lift the arms up. The left hand grabs the right wrist, and then you bend over towards the left, opening up the right side body. Inhale, come back up to center, and then exhale, forward fold, hang heavy. Bring the fingertips down, so maybe bend the knees so deep that you can bring the fingers down. You kick up the left foot and you step it to the back of the mat, lower the left knee down, untuck the toes, walk the right foot over towards the left, and find your pigeon posture. If you bring the right foot close towards the left thigh, it gets easier, making sure the hips are facing the short side of the mat. If you want, you can grab a pillow or block underneath the right hip. Or if you have a sensitive left knee, you can also bring the block here underneath the left thigh to lift up the left knee. You can either stay up here, this is perfect, or maybe you want to lower down, maybe create a pillow with the hands. And then taking a few breaths here for the right hip. A few moments to slow it down and to release, to let go. To let go of that pressure that you might feel, of the tightness, the intensity. A moment to breathe in all of the softness, the compassion, slowing it down and coming back to what really matters. One more breath. If you're all the way down, come back up onto your hands. You can remove the block here. And then from there, tuck the left toes under. You want to find our three-legged down dog. So you lift up the right leg and you press it up and back. Then opening up again, and maybe stay here in your three-legged scorpio tail, or maybe you flip it out and you find your wild thing. So you drop the right foot down, maybe you point the left foot to face the back, and then a little arch here, drawing the chest, the heart up towards the sky, reaching the right arm over the head, take a look towards the fingers. Inhale, and then on the exhale, come back to your down dog. Set the right foot down, take a moment here to breathe. Inhale here, on the exhale, lift up the heels, and then ripple forward vertebra by vertebra, tucking the navel here towards the spine, and then rolling forward, keeping the chin towards the chest. So you bring the shoulders above the wrists, and then from here you drop the hips down, you find an arch off the back, and last thing, you lift up the gaze, you bring the chin away from your chest, rolling the shoulders down away from the ears, so you find a version of up dog with your toes tucked under. And again, bring the chin to the chest, then press out of the hands first, and round yourself up through your plank, and vertebra by vertebra all the way down to your down dog. Inhale, lift up the left leg. Bend the left leg, open up the hip. Bring the left knee towards the nose, exhale. Inhale, step the left foot forward, sink the hips down, lift up the gaze. Reach the arms up, inhale, strong. Exhale, ground back into your warrior two. Flip the left palm up, reverse the warrior, lean back. Left side body opens. And then back to your warrior two. Walk the right foot a little bit in. If you want, you can place the block in front of the left foot. And again, let's take flight here. Let's find some trust. And if you fall, it doesn't matter. We learn the most by falling. And so we embrace here all of the wobbles. Maybe a fall. You can reach the fingers down towards the ground, towards the block, or maybe float them, reaching the right arm up, pressing the right heel down. The right toes are facing over towards the right, half moon, full expression. The head is reaching forward, the heel is pressing back. Stay with the breath. Notice here the sensations. Be here right now with yourself. You could stay. You could bend the right leg in, maybe place the fingers down for a moment if they're lifted. Maybe press the foot into the hand here and you peel the right chest open. And again, it's just an option, nothing you have to do. You are unique, your body is unique, your experiences. Nothing you have to prove. Not to prove to yourself or to anyone or to society. If you have the foot, release the foot, spread wide. And then find your standing spot. So bring the right hand down, square off the hips, lift up the right leg a little bit higher, inhale. Then set the right foot to the outside of the left foot. Allow the chest to get heavy, finding a stretch for the backside of the legs, and now cross leg, forward fold. Lift the necks and then rise up. Reach the arms overhead. The right hand grabs the left wrist, and then you lean over towards the right, opening up the left shoulder and the left side body. Inhale, come back to center, lengthening through the fingers. And then exhale, forward fold, dive deep. Bend the knees as far as you need to bring the fingers down. Kick up the right leg. Place the right foot down, lower the right knee down. And then pigeon posture, walk the left foot over towards the right, grounding the shin bone down. Again, you can use here the block to make it more comfy here for yourself, for your hip. You can stay here, or maybe you want to lower down. And so finding a variation that feels best for you on this side of the body. So also accepting here again that the sides of the body are different. So often a lot of stress, a lot of emotions get stuck in the hips. And so releasing, letting go, in order to see clearly what we actually want, who we really are, and to come back to what really matters. Because often in our fast modern lifestyle, we get so distracted. One of the biggest reasons why we're not able to achieve our goals, our dreams, is actually distraction. We are distracted all the time from people around us, from the expectations, from social media. So take a moment here to take a look inward, to feel, to notice, to listen. If you're all the way down, you can walk the hands back up. Remove the block if you used a block or pillow. And then tuck the right toes under. You want to find a three-legged down dog. Then again, either you bend the left leg to open up the hip, and maybe if it fits in your practice, it feels right on this side of the body, you bring the left toes down, the right foot is facing back, you lift up the hips, you arch the spine, draw the chest forward, draw the heart up, look towards the fingers, inhale. Then the exhale back to your downward facing dog. Take a moment here, allow the heels to get heavy, sink the chest closer towards the thighs, then lift up the heels and again ripple forward, keep the chin tucked towards the chest. In this moment, when the shoulders above the wrists, you allow the hips to sink down, keep the chin to the chest. And then your variation of up dog, lifting up the chin, roll the shoulders back, engagement in the glutes to protect the lower back. And let's leave this posture the same way as we enter the posture. So bring the chin to the chest, press out of the hands, rounding, lifting, and slowly finding yourself back to your down dog. Take an inhale here, stretch the hips up and back. Then on the exhale, drop the knees down and crawl to the front of the mat. Cross the ankles. And let's move ourselves here all the way down onto the backs. Hugging the knees towards the chest. You can roll from side to side for a moment, so giving the lower back a massage. Then releasing the arms down. Lift up the legs. So your waterfall posture, maybe stay here today. You can also take your shoulder stance or your head stance. If you want to find an inversion, that means that the feet are higher than our hips, higher than the heart. So either waterfall, shoulder stand, or headstand. I will go for my shoulder stand today. Placing the hands towards the lower back. You can walk the elbows closer towards each other if you need your shoulder stance. And wherever you are, stay about 5 deep breaths. And again, be here with yourself. Feel into the posture, listening to the messages of the body. One more breath. If you're in your shoulder stance, your waterfall, you can slowly lower the legs down. Place them down towards the mat. Give yourself a moment to rest or the knees to fall towards each other. If you're in your headstand, find your child's pose. A few moments here to rest, to feel, to embrace the stillness. And also in yoga, we want to feel the transitions, the space between the postures, the space between the inhale and the exhalation. Because often we rush through our life and we fill every little break, every little pause with tasks, with answering messages, with looking on our phones. And embracing here also the space between. And then wherever you are, slowly start to find yourself into happy baby. So bring the arms on the inside of the legs. You can grab here the calves, the ankles, the outside of the feet. And so again, another chance to allow the hips to open. You can rock from side to side. Bring lower back a massage. Drawing here the knees to the outside of the armpits. And often when we are children and we grow up, we tend to be really connected with ourselves. But then when we grow older, often We get those expectations from society, from school, from people around us, even from ourselves. We have maybe role models, and sometimes we want to be a different way than we actually are. And so often in this process we lose ourselves, we lose the connection with ourselves, our intention. And so here on the mat, it's time to come back to who you really are, your true self, Purusha. To come back to what really matters to you. Bring the soles of the feet together, allowing the hips to open. Here, place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Allowing the shoulders to soften, close off the eyes if you haven't already. Take a few moments here to open up to all of the possibilities. Knowing that our perspective of life is very limited and there's so much more to it. And often we feel overwhelmed, we also feel kind of stuck. And so allowing yourself to free yourself from that expectations, from that layers of limiting beliefs that you might tell yourself, or maybe someone told you a long time ago. Because you are not that, you're not your limiting beliefs. You're way more. You're not your emotions, you're not your thoughts. And so allow stillness, allow softness. Let's have a deeper look. If you allow all of the chatter of your brain to move to the background of the head. Envision your thoughts, your emotions, like clouds in the sky drifting by. So we want to break through those clouds to see a clear horizon, to find ourselves again. You can stay here as long as it feels right for you. You can press pause in the video. If you practice with me and you don't have so much time, take a few more deep, nourishing breaths. Feel your heart beating in your chest, your breath moving in and out of your body, in your own rhythm, like the waves of the ocean, part of nature. Take one more breath in. And then long, soft exhalation, let it go. You can start to wiggle the toes, the fingers. And so come back here. Noticing your body, the aliveness of your body, and yourself as part of nature. You are a creation, and you're also a creator yourself. So rolling over onto one side whenever you're ready, a few moments here. To remind yourself that every time you step on your mat, it's a new beginning, it's a fresh start. It's a new chance to come back to what really matters. Because everything you will ever need, it's already there. If you're ready to wake up from your practice a second time today, you can find yourself up into a seated position, keeping the eyes still closed, any seat that is comfy for you. And you bring the hands together in front of the chest, in front of the heart center. And take a moment to say a huge thank you to yourself for being who you are, for taking that time out of your day, for reconnecting with yourself, for finding your true self, for listening, for opening up, and maybe for letting go of some of those limiting beliefs, to relieve some of the weight that you carry around on your shoulder. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Have a wonderful, amazing rest of your day. Namaste. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed the practice. It's actually really nice with the wind because otherwise it would be super hot here. And I'm still so happy to be here in this beautiful place. If you have any questions, let me know. And I hope to see you soon somewhere on the world, maybe here in this beautiful space in the retreat in February. Big hug to you.